FilmVist.
You guys voted, and we're here to review Train to Busan.
Train to Busan is a 2016 South Korean action horror film directed by Yeon Sang-ho and starring Gong Yoo, Young Yoo-mi, Man Dong-seok, Kim Soo-an.
If you can't tell, we're going to butcher some names today.
The film mostly takes place on a high-speed train from Seoul to Busan as a zombie apocalypse suddenly breaks out in the country and threatens the safety of its passengers.
Now, I saw this when it came out in 2016, but Head Swims here haven't. What's your first take on it?
It was a weird film in that. It was kind of like a...
Oh, it's a great film. It's great. I don't care what you say. Shut up.
Immediately we're going to argue about it. So it was a bit like Snowpiercer, but with zombies.
It came first.
Did it?
Yes.
No, the film though, surely.
Oh, I actually don't know.
Okay, pause while we Google this.
We need to get the referee in here.
Snowpiercer
Google.
the film, not the series.
Well, that's bullshit, because I meant the series. 2013.
Boom!
Shit.
Boom!
Shit.
Boom! 1-0. 1-0, finally.
Right, well, I'll edit that out.
Okay, yeah, but it was still unique. It's a totally unique idea. So it's a crazy mixture of World War Z, The Last of Us, and Snowpiercer, essentially.
I think
really
why it was so critically acclaimed is the fact that it's on a train. I think the only other movie that's done that was a Spanish film ages ago.
And very recently, Brad Pitt starred in Bullet Train, which was a big hit as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which has probably stolen a little bit of its ideas from this film.
A little bit. How they keep everything enclosed in the one space. It also creates that brilliant scenario for a zombie horde film. Is the fact that they can't get out. They don't have the weapons to deal with it. It just leads into that, we're going to have to sneak by them, or we're going to have to use intelligence instead of just, I'm just going to fire a rocket at this train and blow it up.
Yeah, it's always a big concern when you have a zombie film that it will turn into Zombieland and just kind of be a comedy.
That's the issue I have with most American zombie films, is the fact, or zombie shows, even The Walking Dead, is that they either try and ignore guns, or it just becomes a comedy because, this bunch of mindless zombies is shuffling towards you. Shame I don't have 9 machine guns in my backyard. It's like...
Yeah, exactly. It's like Shaun of the Dead almost. It becomes kind of laughable and comic. So this film did really well to keep it kind of lighthearted at some points, but really serious in loads of the other scenes.
Yeah. Spoiler alerts if no one's seen it. But the fact that none of them make it out, essentially, or a very few of them make it out. Just
two in the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just his daughter, the main character is the fund manager, and only his daughter gets through, and the pregnant wife of the big buff guy.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant film because it doesn't save anyone either. They all get it at some point. It's a bit like Game of Thrones in that aspect of it just didn't care. It was just like, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Filmmaking is much better when it isn't so heavy formulaic. It's better when you don't know what's going to happen. And plot armor, that's exactly the word I'm looking for. Yeah, plot armor. They didn't have plot armor. Every now and then you were just like, oh no, he's not actually... What? He got killed?
Oh, he's definitely going to make... Oh, and he's dead.
Yeah, and it was...
Oh, and she got bitten.
Yeah, it was all the time. So, in fairness, it kept you on the edge of your seat a lot more than some of these generic zombie films. You're like, they're going to make it to the end because they have to. Overall, I thought it was a really good zombie film, and some zombie films are a bit rubbish, so I was pretty good. I thought overall, definitely well worth a watch, and one of the best zombie films I've ever seen. It was good, but I think the only major concern I had was this entire film was the question of, can I have empathy for a fund manager? The answer is no.
What did you think about Kim Yoo-sung playing Yeon Suk? Again, apologies for the names. He was the businessman who didn't care who he killed.
Oh,
he
the COO? Was it Stallion Enterprises?
He racked up a great kill count. He kills the 2 teenagers, the attendant, everyone, even the buff guy because he doesn't let them in. He just racks up kill after kill.
He's like the big bad guy in this show. This whole film is kind of like an eat the rich thing as well. It is kind of anti-COO, anti-fund manager. He kind of, it's like, capitalism is so bad, it's going to get us all. And he's so disingenuous because he's a workaholic. It was very even Busan is quite it's quite in the country. It's not like Seoul, which is very, very city and metropolitan. It was kind of like a go back to your roots and go back to loving each other sort of thing. That was kind of the vibe and the moral of the story, I thought. Because the COO was so heartless and was only caring for himself, which is what the buff guy was saying to the fund manager. And because the fund manager starts to put other people before him, he ends up saving his daughter. But the COO never learned that and ends up endangering everyone because of it.
Multiple times, over and over again.
Yeah, he's a little weasel.
Yeah, but do you not think the fact that after the outbreak and after the initial shock, having the antagonist be one of the humans is a great twist? because it forces the characters to evolve and push forward, and it pushes the plot on. Whereas the zombies then become kind of like a background danger, still dangerous, but more of a background, because what they're actually fighting against is people's fears and emotions, and this guy using them to kind of push the others out, and eventually gets them all killed, gets everyone in the train killed as they enclose themselves on both sides, and then the zombies get in. So I wonder if it's more, the zombies are to be feared, but fear and emotions and someone leveraging that, such as, I don't know, politicians or something like leveraging that, that's actually something to worry about.
Well, that's a big theoretical. You're really into that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, no, it does seem to be. It's all about trust, isn't it? About trusting each other. I mean, even so, when they get off at the first place that the train stops at, Daegu Station, I think it is, they find out that actually all the military is dead there, and the government or the train operators or whatever, we're just gonna let them all die. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like, they were just gonna let them all die, and then they have to get back on the train to keep going. And even though they're going, oh, we can't let you into Busan, we can't let you in. And then when they get to Busan, they're literally, the military are there with snipers. And they would have shot them if it weren't for the girl singing and the mother walking through, and because it was just those two. And it's all about trust, and they get all the way through the train carriages to, what is it, car 13 from car 9, and then the guy's like, don't let them in. So they get there.
Bitten. They've clearly been bitten.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, no, they haven't.
So actually the main enemy is other humans.
Yeah, exactly. I do like how the film related back the song at the very beginning that the child was singing is what eventually saves her as they're walking through the tunnel.
Absolutely.
And what makes the army not shoot her. I thought that was quite a nice closed loop of, I was like, because they spent a lot of time on the song, and I was like, why is that important?
So what?
Exactly. And then at the end, there's the payoff.
Right, yeah. No, it was good. It was a quite a clever film. I mean, it's mostly an action-packed film. Lots of zombies, lots of action.
Its first release is an action thriller, not a horror.
Yeah, I know. It's not necessarily a horror that much. It is more an action.
I mean, the
suspense.
zombies still are
Pretty damn scary. But...
Also, great breakdancing from the extra zombies. The way they're able to move their... I don't know how they did that. I don't know whether they did just get breakdancers or something in there, but... Yeah.
That is the big question, yeah.
The way they were moving, the way they flipped around with their limbs and stuff, they must have been double jointed at least.
They got a bunch of gymnasts and dressed them up as zombies. Quite possibly, yeah. No, the choreography was brilliant. And actually, there are moments where it's quite funny as well. It is good overall, definitely. Well worth a watch if you're into your action films. If you're into your zombie film, I think it is definitely up there with a must-watch if you're into your zombie genre. It's up there. It's a must-watch.
Nice. Tell us what you think down below in the comments.
And what film should we watch next?